Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. How are you this morning? Or drop us a live down in the corner. Comment if you're watching live. Let us know where you're watching from. And if you're catching us on the replay, thank you very much. Let us know where you're watching from as well. So, good morning, Christina. How are you?
I am doing awesome.
That's great. For those of you who may not have seen us before, I am Tracy Taylor and I am from Alberta, Canada. And this is
Christina Arias Tirado, and I'm from Northern New York.
And together we are the Chatty Cooks.
Yay!
So we're not bringing you any food today, are we, Christina?
Nope, no food.
So what are we doing? Why am I hiding behind all these cans?
Because you're a weirdo.
Okay, besides that, why am I hiding behind all these cans?
Because today we wanted to talk about what you can do with these cans. I know I always, like when I first started getting Thrive and started using it all the time, I was ending up with a bunch of cans, and I'm like, I hate throwing them out because they're such nice perfect cans. Did you just drop them?
I did.
Awesome. You did it with a smile.
I did.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about what you can do with these awesome cans besides just throwing them in your trash, of course, well, or your recycle bin, because they are perfectly recyclable. But they're also they have a lot of really great uses of what you can do with them. And once, if you're like Tracy and I, who cook with them all the time, and go through our food a lot, you end up with a lot of cans. So I always feel a little bit guilty or sticking them in the recycle bin and not doing something with them. So, yeah, so we've got a couple ideas for that, and I'll let you. You're going to start?
I was just reading. Carla's supposed to be working. It's okay, Carla. I don't think your boss follows us. We're all good. Knock those ones over. Yes, I will start. So I use the cans for everything, but we're not going to show you all our uses right now because what we want to happen is we want you to give us some ideas on upcycling the cans, but we'll give you the details to that in a little bit. Some of the things I use the cans for is, you've seen me make a lot of my meals in bags, right? But it's really hard to hold a Ziploc bag and be pouring food into your bag. So if you take a number 10 can and a large Ziploc bag, it fits perfectly into the Ziploc bag. Then you just roll the rim over and you can fill it up. This is also great too if you're freezing stuff. So if you happen to be making chili or spaghetti sauce or something and you want to freeze it in a Ziploc bag, the reason I do this is I will then freeze it partially in the Ziploc bag until the shape is formed. Why is this good? Because this is about the size of the inside of a crock pot. So then when I pull out my bag with my frozen spaghetti sauce or my stew or whatever I have in my bag, I can put it right into my crock pot frozen solid. One of the downfalls is when you freeze something in a Ziploc bag and it's got those sides sticking out, you have to defrost it enough to get it in your crock pot. So the whole idea of freezing meals ahead to put in a crock pot is we ain't got time for that. So make sure when you're freezing it, it's frozen in the shape that's going to fit into your crock pot in a frozen state. So whether you're using it to do meals in bags with the freeze-dried food or whether you're using it to make spaghetti sauce, stew, anything that you make ahead of time to go in your crock pot or slow cooker, this is a great way of using it for 10 cans.
Well, even your meals in jars. You can do these for your meals in jars. They're just the same size as if you use the quart. You can do, instead of doing jars, if you don't want to go out and spend all the money, because I wash out all these. I have like boxes of just these, because when I do meals in jars, not when I do the single meals, but when I do the big meals for family, I always use these. It's so much easier. They're not as pretty, like, we like to see them displayed, but they work perfectly. So, we doing the lid? Should I do my lid?
You do your lid, my lid.
Okay, so now this doesn't really apply to everybody, but anybody that knows what our other business is my husband and I, we have a business where we teach people how to shoot, and we do the New York State pistol permit class and everything. So we're always looking for targets, that people can, shoot at. And it's like, there's nothing more satisfying than the ping off of metal, when it hits the metal. It's a lot better than killing paper, right? So I save all of these. And this is what we use for our targets. He'll use like some paint and just dab, a bullseye in the center. And we use these, and he'll hang them at all different angles off. We've got like a frame, and then so that people can shoot on it. And I know like that doesn't apply to everybody, but that's something that we do with them.
And the funny thing is if you are a shooter and you practice, you know that those are normally called gongs, but we call them pings. Because it's not quite the sound of the thick steel, it's just a ping. So you have your gongs and we have our pings. Well, you know what, Christina? I know this might surprise everybody watching, but we collect pings too because we shoot them as well. So my idea is not just how to use the lid of the can, but how to store the lids of the can. Because you definitely don't, even if you're not using them to shoot with, and you have no desire to make a craft with them to compete in a little challenge that the Chatty Cooks may or may not have going on at this moment. If you have nothing to do with these but throw them in the garbage, depending on this can opener you're using, they may have sharp edges. So what I suggest is that you keep a number 10 can in your pantry on the floor, put all the lids inside there. And then if you do practice shooting, this is a can of solid steel. That would be a gong.
Yep, that would be a gosh. But that saves you from slicing open your trash bags too, because if you put it in there and it's it's on the side, you're gonna slice open your trash bag.
Your garbage man's hand or your kid's hands when they're taking the bag out, right? So
absolutely,
it's a place to put them until you're ready to take it to the recycling. So have you got anything, Tina?
I do. I also, because like I said, I save all these. And you ever get like grease, like if you were frying something or whatever, and you don't want to just dump the grease into your trash. And we have a septic system. We don't have like city sewer or anything. I have a septic system, so I can't just dump grease down. I wouldn't do that anyway, but it's not good for your pipes. But you don't want to dump grease down your drain either. Right. So I will keep one of these and with the lid and everything, and I can put as I'm I can drain my grease into here, and then when it's full, I put the lid on it, put it in the thing, then I don't have to worry about it being all over the trash or anything else. So that's a really good thing for it to do. Or even if you're somebody who saves their bacon grease, to fry with and everything, you can dump it right in there and then stick it in your fridge, and then you've always got your bacon grease to scoop out.
I do have a can of it at camp because the only place we eat bacon is at camp because we're there on the weekend. And I have a can of it in the freezer exactly so that when you need it for something else, it's in there. So another thing that I do is if you're using freeze-dried food, I don't need to tell you about the dust or the powder or the broken bits that come at the bottom. So this one here, you probably can't see it, it's backwards, but it says chili fixings. So anything that goes in chili, I could turn around and put it in spaghetti sauce or stew or anything too. But this is just all of the bottom pieces. So I've just added all of the bits of pepper dust and some broken mushrooms and all of the stuff that's going to end up being thrown in the chili anyways. But yesterday I found a great way to use the lid. So winter has come, but it's still warm inside. All of the flies have not died. There are 2 of them flying around my house, and if I put a cup of tea out, they are bound to get in. Now, I'm pretty sure I might have stole the idea from your husband because I think I saw him drinking a margarita or some fancy frou-frou drink out of a pantry can at one time, and the bugs were getting in it. So I think he put the lid on in a straw. So I put it, and amazingly, it fits perfectly on my coffee cup, keeps it warm, and it keeps that damn fly out of my tea.
Yep. My husband does. He makes his cocktails in this because he loves, when he drinks a cocktail, he loves it to be packed with ice. So he'll take this and he'll pack it with the ice, and then he'll put whatever it is. And yeah, so when we were camping, he cut out the lid like he had a big sippy cup.
Sippy cup, yep.
Yeah, he's a little strange.
To let you know, these cans, like Christina said, you can throw them right in the dishwasher.
Yep.
They're not going to rust at all. Or you can wash them by hand. But we would like to see what. Do you have any more? Sorry, Christina. Do you?
I do. I have one more. I use them to store everything. I use them to store things because, like, I don't know about you guys, but we have a million charger cords, and there's always like a ton of stuff. And so I just wrap them so they're each individually wrapped, and then I stick them in the can, and then I stick them in the closet because I have a thing to charge the stuff on the side of my wall. But everybody would cram all these cords in there all the time, and it drives me crazy. So I went through and I bundled each one of them up, and then I just crammed them in here, and I put the lid on, and now everything is in one place and it's contained. And you know, I do this with medicines as well. Because a lot of times I'll have a bunch of medicine down in the like cough drops and stuff, because you know, like if they get a little bit too old, you don't use them in time, they'll get a little like sticky or whatever. These are great because they're airtight. It's just like, you know, our food will last a year opened in these, you know, because they're airtight. So when you put stuff like that, they're not getting exposed to the air. So I will put, you know, cough drops and, you know, stuff like that in here as well. So it's, you know, and it organizes my my linen closet medicine thing as well, and I just label them so I know exactly, just look and say, oh, I need this, and here it is. Same with like first aid stuff and everything. There's a gajillion things you can do with it.
But we're not going to tell you anymore. We do
No,
have to
we're not.
bring out the big guns. We're saving them because we're going to compete with you as well. So what we want to do is family cans or pantry cans, or any part. So if you want to use the lid, if you want to cut the can open, if you want to use the metal lid that comes inside, we want to see what you can come up with to do with our lids. If you are local and you don't have cans, contact us. We have cans. We have covered. And if you're not local and you want to get in on the action and win a few prizes, then use a coffee can or use a big soup can. Use any can that you have at home, because we would be able to adapt it to our cans. We're not going to put you at a disadvantage because you don't have access to our cans. Or you could place an order of a can, but you know, that's totally up to you. And then
Absolutely.
what we want you to do is go onto the Chatty Cooks. We're going to have an announcement, a pinned post where it's going to say, show us your cans. Please remember there are children watching.
And we mean these cans.
These cans, yeah. Show us your cans and what you've done with the cans. We're going to recruit some judges to pick the top 5, and then we're going to put them out to vote. Now, I see a lot of people that have signed on and are watching this that are consultants. Consultants, you are welcome to join. Your prize might be something different because obviously you have food and you have food credit. So we'll pick something different for the consultants, but we want to see what you have out there. Be creative, check out Pinterest, Google it, or just find some amazing ways. You can enter as many times as you want to. We want to see what you're going to do with your cans.
And you're also welcome to, you know, your customers, your consultants or whatever, bring them on over if they want to do it too. The more ideas,
share.
Yeah, the more ideas we come up with, because I know that that's something, I don't know, like I said, when I was like throwing them out or just like sending them to recycle, I was kind of feeling a little guilty, because I'm like, I should be really using these, because they come out when the product is out and you run through the dishwasher, they're perfect. It's not like a regular can at the store, because those are aluminum. Our cans aren't aluminum. Ours are steel cans, so they're not all bendy and, you know, and they're not weak. They're nice, strong cans. So they're really great to do things with. So, you know, send people over, do whatever. And, you know, how long are we running this contest till? The end of the month?
Sure. Till November 1st.
November 1st, we're gonna draw a winner, or we're gonna pick a winner.
And I'm really busy on Halloween because it's a big holiday in my house. So let's go till November 1st. We'll post the 5 top ones November 1st, and then we'll give a couple days for voting on that. Okay. And that's all I have for today. And you?
That's all I have.
Okay. So
just put it out there. Let's see what you guys got. Let's see your cans.
From Alberta, I'm Tracy Taylor.
And from Northern New York, I'm Christina Arias Tirado.
And together
We are
the
the Chatty
Chatty
Cats.
Cats.
Yay! Bye, guys.